Hello guys, welcome to our channel Speaking Books. We will be continuing the discussion of the book Think and Grow Rich. In the previous video, we saw the introductory video of the book Think and Grow Rich. Now in this video, we will go through the second chapter of the book and summarize it well. Desire. The name of this chapter says much of it. I request you all to pause this video for a while and ask yourself a question. What are your desires? After doing this small task, let's continue with the chapter. We already had insight into the success story of Edwin Bernays in our previous video. Now let's look how he built and maintained his desire and how his definite desire helped him in his success. His desire wasn't an ordinary one. Bernays' desire was not a hope, it was not a wish, it was a keen pulsating desire which transcended everything else. It was a definite. To everyone except himself, he appeared as an ordinary person in the edition's business. But in his own mind, he was the partner of Edition every minute of the time from the first day that he went to work there. This made his desire different from others. He did not say, I will work there for a few months and if I get no encouragement, I will quit and get a job somewhere else. He did say, I will start anywhere, I will do anything Edition tells me to do, but before I am through, I will be his associate. He had nothing to lose, he had to win or perish. This made him sure of maintaining that state of mind known as a burning desire to win, essential to success. Our great author has another story for explaining the art of making desire and achieving it. Hundreds of years back, a great warrior faced a situation which made it necessary for him to make a decision, either to successfully win the battle or to die. His army was just half of his opponent. He loaded his soldiers into boats, sailed to enemy's country, unloaded soldiers and equipments, then gave the order to burn the ships that had carried them. Addressing his men before the first battle, he said, You see the boats going up in the smoke? That means that we cannot leave this shore alive unless we win. We now have no choice. We win or we perish. Finally, they won. Similar burning desire can be seen in Marshall Field's story. The morning after the Great Chicago Fire, a group of merchants stood on State Street, looking at the smoking remains of what had done to their stores. They went into a conference to decide if they would try to rebuild or leave Chicago and start over in more promising section of the country. They reached a decision to leave Chicago, but one merchant didn't agree. That merchant who decided to stay and rebuild a pointed finger at the remains of his store and said, Gentlemen, on that very spot I will build the world's greatest store, no matter how many times it may burn down. That was more than 50 years ago. The store was built. It stands there today. A towering movement to the power of that state of mind known as a burning desire. The easy thing for Marshall Field to have done would have been exactly what his fellow merchants did. When the going was hard and the future looked dismal, they pulled up and went where the going seemed easier. Mark well this difference between Marshall Field and the other merchants, because it is the same difference which distinguishes Edwin C. Bernays from thousands of other young men who have worked in the Edition organization. It is the same difference which distinguishes practically all who succeed from those who fail. To summarize the method from making a desire to achieving it, author gives 6 definite practical steps, which are: First, fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire. It is not sufficient merely to say, I want plenty of money. Be definite to the amount. There is a psychology reason for definiteness which will be described in a subsequent chapter. Second, determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money you desire. There is no such reality as something for nothing. Third, establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire. Fourth, create a definite plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once whether you are ready or not to put this plan into action. Fifth, write out a clear, concise statement for the amount of money you intend to acquire. Name the time limit for its acquisition, state what you intend to give in return for the money, and describe clearly the plan through which you intend to accumulate it. Sixth, read your statement aloud twice daily, once just before retiring at night and once after arising in the morning. As you read, see and feel and believe yourself already in the possession of the money. It is important that you follow the instruction described in the 6 steps. It is especially important that you observe and follow the instruction in the 6th para. One must realize that all who have accumulated great fortunes first did a certain amount of dreaming, hoping, wishing, desiring and planning before they acquired money. You may as well know right here that you can never have riches in great quantities unless you can work yourself into a white heat of desire for money and actually believe you will possess it. Let us not forget Columbus dreamed of an unknown world, staked his life on the existence of such world and discovered it. Henry Ford, poor and uneducated, dreamed of a horseless carriage, went to work with what tools he possessed, without waiting for opportunity to favor him, and now evidence of his dream belts the entire world. He has put more wheels into operation than any man who ever lived, because he was not afraid to back his dream. Thomas Edison dreamed of a lamp that could be operated by electricity, began where he stood to put his dream into action, and despite more than 10,000 failures, he stood by that dream until he made it physical reality. Practical dreamers do not quit. The Wright brothers dreamed of a machine that would fly through the air. Helen Keller became deaf, dumb and blind shortly after birth. Despite her great misfortune, she has written her name indelibly in the pages of great history. These people and many others begin with a dream. Dreams are the seedlings of reality. A burning desire to be and to do is the starting point from which the dreamer must take off. Dreams are not born of indifference, laziness, or lack of ambition. Remember, no more effort is required to aim high in life, to demand abundance and prosperity than is required is to accept misery and poverty. Now, the author has his own child story to make you understand that even nature changes in front of our strong desire. Desire outwits Mother Nature. Author's son came into the world without any physical sign of years, and the doctor admitted, when pressed for an opinion, that the child might be deaf and mute for the life. But author challenged doctor's opinion. He wasn't ready to accept this, and he made a desire to make his child listen to the world. From this desire, he never receded back even for a second. As child grew older and began to notice the things around him, author observed that he had a slight degree of hearing. They found that the child could listen some music of Victrola, and even he seems to enjoy the music. Shortly after child appropriated the Victrola, author discovered that child could hear him quite clearly when he spoke with my lips touching child's mastoid bone or at the base of the brain. This gave a boost to author's desire. Child's mother saw him as a disability, whereas author saw this as an advantage. For example, The teachers in school would observe that he had no ears, and because of this, they would show him special attention and treat him with extraordinary kindness. Passing time, they could notice that gradually the child's hearing was improving. One of the incidents of child just amazed the author. The incident took place in an afternoon when child was left at home with the servants. He climbed through the kitchen window, shinnied to the ground, and set out on his own. Child borrowed 6 cents in capital from the neighborhood shoemaker, invested it in papers, sold out, reinvested, and kept repeating until late in the evening. After balancing his accounts and paying back the 6 cents he had borrowed from his banker, he had a net profit of 42 cents. The child passed out his grades, high school, and college without being able to hear his teachers, excepting when they shouted loudly at close range. During his last week in college, 18 years after the operation, something happened which marked the most important turning point of his life. This was the time when he got a chance to test a new electrical hearing device for trial. He picked the instrument up, placed it on his head, hooked up the battery, and as if by a stroke of magic, his lifelong desire for normal hearing became a reality. For the first time in his life, he could converse freely with other people without the necessity of there to speak loudly. Truly, he had come into possession of a changed world. This shows that Mother Nature bends to the will of desire if the desire was for good. So in this chapter, author explained that a strong desire can really achieve your success. Make sure that you must follow the 6 steps mentioned above to really succeed in your life.
Thank you all. Make sure you like, subscribe and share. Please share your feedback